Hey, welcome to D Time, episode 24, the Brotherhood. And today, I'm be talking in part two with my brother, Kel Jackson. And we're gonna be just talking about being brothers and that journey that we've had. Me, 35 years, him, 33, going on 35 years on Earth. And for those that have siblings, that have brothers, it's an interesting dynamic, interesting relationship. You go through a lot. Maybe you have a great relationship with your brother. Maybe it's not so great. I know for myself and Kel, we antagonized each other. Mainly me. I was the antagonist as the older brother. So I used to pick on him a lot and just mess with him. As I got older, I felt really, really bad about the way I teased them. And the good thing about it is that as we've grown older, as we both matured and gone through life, our relationship has grown into a great one. And my brother, his best man at my wedding, helped me out through a lot of tough, challenging times, and been a source of inspiration and comfort, and just a great resource for me. And so when I look back at our relationship in the past and now, I'm truly grateful. Proud, super proud of him. He's married now, a wife of his own, and it's just cool to see him grow as from a young boy to a man. And we've gone through a lot. We've gone through a whole lot as kids and as adults, and I think that because of that, I think that's helped for just our relationship closer. And so I'll be sitting down and talking with him on just about childhood, his own life, and what got him to this point in his life, and just talking about the brotherhood and what makes that bond so special, and things that he's learned from our relationship and just from life in general. So I'm excited to sit down with him. I'm excited for you guys again to hear what he has to say. And so please stick around for part two, where I sit down with my brother and talk about our relationship and kind of reminisce on the good old, quote unquote, good old days with him. So please stick around. For those that have been listening to the podcast up until now, thank you for your support. We got many more episodes to come. Please show your support by following this podcast on Twitter and Instagram at DTime Podcast. You can send us an email via Gmail at dtimepodcast@gmail.com. Send us your suggestions, send us your thoughts, input, insight. I want to hear all about it. And for today's episode, I want to hear about your relationship with your siblings. How is that like? What's helped you have a great relationship with your sibling, your brother? And if it's not so great, maybe there's some advice that you want to elicit, or ask, or just share about. So I'm excited to hear about that. Please reach out to us. Stick around for part two of the Brotherhood. Peace. All right, welcome back to D Time, episode 24, Brotherhood. I'm here sitting down with my brother, Kel. Kel, what's going on?
Not much, bro. I'm good. How are you?
Awesome, man. But so before we jump into the convo, man, I was wondering if you can take a couple minutes to introduce yourself to those listening.
Well, I'm the second oldest of six siblings. You being my oldest sibling. You know, grew up, with a lot of family, cousins and stuff like that. So big family dynamic, kind of growing up. Actually, very interesting upbringing. Probably won't have time to get in today. But yeah, uh, with a whole kind of Christian-based movement and upbringing as well. I'm currently married. Let's see, 5 years now. Yeah, and just living that married life. I got a fur baby, got a little dog, and it's just us three right now.
Awesome. Yeah, man. I was, as you were talking, I was just thinking how it'd be cool to just do a little talk about that growing up. But like I said, the episode is entitled Brotherhood, and I thought it'd be cool just to talk about just that, being brothers. And in part one, I was talking a lot about just our relationship and how it's changed from when we were young till now. And I think it's always cool just to look back on just growing up. And for you, I wanted to know what are some of your favorite memories from childhood? And
Oh man, I think my favorite memories was just really hanging out with my cousins because I was always kind of the younger one. So all you guys were kind of like my heroes, and I think we kind of rolled in a group of like 8 deep. Like we're always just together, and we was always just doing crazy stuff, building forts, having dirt clog fights, running up in the forest. I remember we had our own karate classes. We were trying to instruct each other in karate. We always had a little clique. We used to call it G-Force. We're always definitely, spiritually aware, and, we were just kind of always trying to implement just like positivity. And I think I just remember having a big influence on the community. Like everybody wanted to hang out with us. We gave all of our friends nicknames, to the point where they still go by those names today. Even some of their parents. I remember one of our friends, to be honest, I don't even know his name, but we called him Cheeseburger since day one. And I'm pretty sure his whole family calls him Cheeseburger now. So just having that kind of, dynamic is real cool. You always felt like, people's looking out for you. You always felt like someone had your back. And, it was cool. And like, yeah, me being, one of the youngest too, me and my other cousin Alvin, it was just cool just being able to look up to everyone and just, we kind of took a pride in it. All of our cousins was cool. They're the cool kids, they're the athletes, and, it was great growing up. I mean, it's definitely a cool time. I just remember we were always into something, just always into something, but always in a good way though.
yeah, I totally forgot about the nickname thing. I think his name was like Josh Milberger or something like that.
It was, we said scratch
Yeah,
that, and he was cool
yeah,
with
man.
it.
uh, so yeah, I mean, even as you're talking, I'm thinking a lot about, obviously the things that you mentioned, and, yeah, we were always into something, and as you grow older, maybe some of those times kind of are few and far in between. But I always think about my younger self and things that I would say to myself at that age, and so
Wow.
for you, if you can go back and talk to yourself, when you're 18, or maybe even some of those younger points that you kind of mentioned, if you could go back and talk to yourself, what are some things that you'd say to yourself?
Oh man, I think the overall message would just be like relax. Like I was just so wanting like everything. I wanted to be in the middle of everything. And sometimes being the youngest is like, all right, man, you can't hang out with us here. Or, hey, we're about to go do something, a little more, like the older kids, a little more mature. And
Mm-hmm.
I used to always kind of take even kind of just jokingly criticism like a little harshly. So I would tell my younger stuff, just relax. Don't be so serious. Cause sometimes I could be over serious. Even today, I gotta tell myself sometimes that just, take a breath and relax. But, yeah, also I think I would tell myself just to like, just be more self-accepting, I think if you accept yourself, then no one can deny you. And, I was always kind of looking outward, kind of, I wanted to be as cool as my cousin, my brothers. I wanted to be, viewed in the same light as them. I think it kind of took my focus away from looking within myself, whether that's, looking for some, uh, validation in some way, whether it's like athletically or popularity, just always looking for, a confirmation. I think I had a supreme confidence, like I had supreme confidence in myself, but didn't have a lot of value in myself. I allowed other people to kind of put a stamp on, if my confidence was legit, or if it was okay. So I think that's one thing I definitely speak to my younger self.
Yeah, it's funny that you say that. The kind of premise of this podcast series is, what we learn from those around us. And as I've sat down with different people, I've found that, you learn a lot from yourself, actually, just from reflecting, and life just kind of is that ultimate teacher. And for
Right,
you,
right.
looking back at life, what are some of the most important things that you've learned? You kind of just mentioned one, but what are some other things that you feel like you've learned from life?
I think I've learned, well, you know what? I can't even say learn, to be honest. I have to say I'm learning still, to just live in the moment, live in the right now. I know as a kid, you're always looking to, oh man, I can't wait till I get this age and could do this. Oh man, I can't wait till go to middle school. I can't wait till I go to high school. You know, you're always looking forward, but you can kind of miss the moments that are right in front of you. Which I had a lot of good ones, growing up as a kid, but, yeah, I'm still learning now to just live in the moment. You know, life is a series of moments, you know, good and bad, and, you know, they're all going to pass, you know, whether you like it or not. So just take a breath and kind of take in everything, as well as the bad times too, because, you know, like you said, life is the ultimate teacher. So just understanding that if it's bad, you know, it's going to pass. So just take the fish, you know, spit out the bone. And if it's good, man, you know, just really take the time to be like, all right, man, this is good time right here. Because, you have to need those times kind of to look back and get yourself going forward sometimes.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, one of the things that I've learned this year, been learning is kind of what you mentioned about, you know, moments and you know, maybe when things aren't going well that they will pass. And someone said to me that, you know, when you're going through a storm, there's no storm that never ends. You know, all storms end eventually.
Right.
And as I thought about that, I was like, yeah, you know, in the midst of it, you can feel like things are never going to end, but there's no, even like physical storms, all storms end. There's no such thing as like a perpetual storm. So, that I took that as a great piece of advice for this year. But for you, you know, what do you feel like is the best piece of advice someone's shared with you? And if you don't have a top one, maybe
Oh,
what's saying?
I think is another thing I'm learning right now. Definitely I would tell to my younger self is that like it's okay to feel. Like it's okay to have emotions, whatever they may be. It's normal. You know, you're not the first or the last human to feel whatever emotion you're feeling. I think when I was young, I didn't understand emotions a lot, and another thing, I wasn't a good communicator. So if I was feeling something, didn't do a good job of voicing it, or or just letting it out in a constructive way. So, you know, things for me would just bottle up and, you know, they'll come out and here I go. You know, I'm in detention, or here I go. I'm in, you know, extra, you know, class for kids who need to calm down or something like that. So, I think I would tell myself, yeah, just, it's okay to feel, you know, and I actually would just, you know, tell myself just to communicate more, you know, even if you're happy, like, man, you know, happy, you know, or I'm down, I'm sad, because, just getting it out sometimes and verbalizing it, and having other people be like, oh, you know, I felt that way before. I feel like that, you know, it kind of normalizes it. And the kid, you can kind of alienate your own self if, you know, you keep in your emotions, because you feel like, man, I'm the only one feeling like this. Am I weird? Am I this? You know, so I think just opening my mouth, you know, not being afraid to feel, you know.
Right. That's great. Yeah, man, it's been a trip, you know, just going down memory lane the last couple weeks and leading up to this chat. So I appreciate you sharing. I think, yeah, man, we both been through a lot. And for those listening, you know, be cool, share your stories about your sibling, you know, or growing up and things like that, and share your info. You can follow this podcast on Twitter and Instagram at DTime Podcast, and at dtimepodcast@gmail.com. Kel, man, thanks so much for chatting, man, going down memory lane.
Yeah, definitely. No doubt. I got you, man. It was fun. It was definitely fun.
Sure.